One of the hardest things that we have to do, it's hard for us to just be present, just be in the present moment, in the presence of now, and just enjoying that. Life is but a moment. Our days are numbered. We're here one moment and we don't know when that last day is. Not to get your mood all down today, guys, but it is important for us to really think about this. We really should live by the quote, live today as if it's your last. Carpe Diem, seize the day. If you think about it, and we don't want to, but if you think about it, one day we're all not going to be here. We're all going to die. And we fear this thing called death when it's not something we should fear. It's actually something we should understand. See, we talked about fear before and how avoiding something because you're afraid of it, it doesn't solve the problem. You have to face it. You have to understand it. We fear what we don't understand. Now, if we understand that one day we're all going to be gone, then we have to think about, why should I not be afraid of that? You know why? Because we were made to have purpose. And what is it that we are doing today? What is our purpose? What are we leaving behind? How are we making a difference in this world? You see, it's not about us. We are part of the bigger picture. And one of the things that we just get caught up in is having these dreams and having these goals and plans and all this stuff. And that's okay. That's good. When you work towards something, then, you can accomplish a lot. But we know plans don't always turn out the way that we think they will. And that's where you have to plan to deviate from your plan, be flexible. We have to let go of the control because we can't control life. Why? Because we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't even know what's going to happen in the next moment. What we do know, though, is what we can do in this very moment. And that can affect, even after we're gone, it can affect the world. It can affect others. I mean, think about somebody like a great author or somebody who, their book inspired you, or their story inspired you, but they're not even here anymore. So it's really about how are we leaving our impact on this world? And what are we doing right now today to not waste today? And not to worry, not to make that something to worry about. Not at all. In fact, that is the key in this message too, is to stop worrying about everything. You might have a goal or a dream or plans or whatever, and we might not even be able to reach that. And you know what? That's okay. Stop worrying about if you're going to get to that finish line, right? Stop worrying about tomorrow. I love the verse Matthew 6:34. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Today has enough troubles of its own. And it's really true. There's always going to be something happening tomorrow. There's always going to be something happening today. You just don't know. But that's also, we also know that life's going to be full of ups and downs. There are going to be good times, but there will be hard times too. So why not enjoy the good time while you can? Why not be happy? Why not laugh? Why not, do that plan, do that goal, reach for that goal. Don't worry about if it's going to happen or not, or even if it's going to happen the way you want. Stop worrying and stop controlling is the key. Just do. Just live. Just live life. Just enjoy it. It's a gift, guys. So live in the present. No pun intended. Okay, maybe a little. Because here's the thing, guys. It is very important that you don't worry about how life's going to be, because, and also not worrying about the past, because worrying does not add to your life. It takes away, actually. Science has even research has proven that worry and stress actually do cut down your health. It affects your health and it cuts down your lifespan. Like, stress can cause all kinds of other health problems. I mean, it's an actual proven thing. So we already have, our days numbered. Why would you decrease that amount by worrying about them? If, and then they're not even going to happen. If you're so stressed, you're causing yourself other issues. There's no point in that when you can be here in the moment, in today, right now. And that is difficult for us, maybe because of the way that we think. We're always trying to think of, think ahead and all that. And we're also taught to really be, thinking about the next thing, which, it's a human thing. We all do it. But I really love meditation for this reason, but you don't even have to just meditate. Like, there's the 4-second or the box breathing, if you've ever heard of that. But you can just, like, every now and then just stand there or sit there where you're at, preferably a quiet place, which some people don't like the complete quiet, but it's so good for us. Just drown out the noise. And literally, and close your eyes and literally just breathe. And count to 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and then breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just do that for a little bit. And just feel your body. Just feel, your presence, your moment. Quiet your mind. And just kind of renew and restart before you go on with the rest of your day. And this really helps when things are stressful and hard. And, there's something else that we do. I don't even think we mean to, but when we do have wonderful, good moments and happy times, it's so funny. We always pull out our phones, take pictures, and want to keep it as a memory because it's so special. It's so special when I look back at it and, it brings us smiles. Well, what if, why don't we just mentally do that, with our mental cameras? Just like, just kind of take in the moment that you're in and just embrace it and just take it in for a minute. Just behold it and just keep it in your heart. When we start seeing the good and the good moments of life and just life in general. I mean, even things I think we even look at certain things like in a negative light when we really shouldn't. Like, a lot of people look at like work, and unless you really like your work, your line of work, you may not look at that in a positive light, but work is healthy for us. Work is good. We were made to work, and there's so much goodness that comes out of our work. So even something that can be hard sometimes, or difficult, embracing that, or embrace the burn, I like to say, but like embracing that moment and just like putting all your effort into the present moment, what you are experiencing right now. I mean, that it makes that impact on you, and then you're going to be able to go forward with that different mindset. And that really does reshape how you live life completely. And it reshapes your future too. You see, and I heard this, or I read this actually. I read this quote from this guy named Thomas Pierce, and I just have to share it because it's so good. And it kind of reminds me of why I started this podcast, to reach people like you, and to remind you all right now, what this podcast is, the purpose of it. So thank you for listening all the time. But because we do go through this labyrinth called life, and we're trying to make the garden. We're trying to make it the garden. Maybe it is a garden. Maybe what we need to realize is it actually is the garden. And we just need to actually, instead of trying to find the end of the labyrinth, or which corner do I take next, which one's the right direction, why don't we just stop and maybe look up and enjoy the clouds? I don't know, maybe look around and you might notice that there are some flowers actually. And it's not all just scary bushes. But anyway, I like this quote. If you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend your time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come. Don't chase, attract. It's actually, I just really like that because it's true. I mean, just stop worrying about how many butterflies can I catch. If you just start living your life and making the most of it, then the butterflies, they will be there. They'll be there to enjoy the flowers that you're gardening. And, again, not to put you in a bad mood today, guys, but sometimes we really do have to, face the truth and kind of remind ourselves, like, life is like a vapor. I mean, we're here one day and gone the next. Like, it's not a guarantee. And, we can be sad about that, or we can just accept that and, again, make the most of right now. Make the most of what you have. Love yourself, love others. Let yourself be loved. I got to share another example, because to me, just personally, it kind of, again, put a new perspective on, what we might be looking at in a negative way, but actually it might not be. It's all about perspective, guys. And so I read this thing about, like, we, mothers, if you're a mom, you can understand. And maybe if your dad too, actually, in your own way. But, like, we're always like, okay, once the kids, a lot of us like to co-sleep and all that. And once the kids are a certain age, like, they need to be in their own bed and all that. And I'm not saying that's not right, but my point here is, like, the cuddles, though, like the love, because one day they're not going to be in that, they aren't going to cuddle with you anymore. They get to that age, they don't want to. So, instead of rushing to that next finish line, like, why don't you just enjoy it, because it's not going to last forever. Unfortunately, not, nothing in this earth, is going to last forever. It's always changing. And so we have to enjoy what we have while we have it. Again, even if it, question yourself. Like, it might seem like you don't like something particular, but ask yourself, am I looking at this the right way? Is it really that bad? What if, this person isn't here tomorrow? What if I'm not here tomorrow? What if this thing changes tomorrow? What if this circumstance, turns did the other way. Like, ask yourself these things, because sometimes it takes kind of realizing what you have. Because again, you've heard that quote, you don't know what you have till you don't have it. So, you kind of have to think about that. What if I didn't have this? And we start to appreciate the things that we have. Because unfortunately, for some reason, if it's right under our nose, we don't recognize it. It's interesting, but it's important that we appreciate everything that we have. We probably sometimes don't even know, like, how important something is to us until we literally have to lose it. Like, we don't know that because we don't live without it, or whatever. So try to really just go with it. I again, mom mode here, but y'all have to know this. Like, Bluey is so popular. But there's one episode so cute, and the moms are so busy trying to plan. Like, we're on vacation at the beach, so we have to do beach things, and the kids are literally just enjoying, like, playing games on the sofa, and it's so funny. And it's like it finally hits her, like, you know what? I'm just literally stressing out because I think things have to be this way. And that's how we do. We just, we get so caught up in our own, this is how, and like, for example, if you're like me, sometimes, a lot of times, I'll just wake up and I'll have these expectations of the day. Like, this is what I want to get done today, which isn't, again, planning isn't bad, but the flexibility is the part we have to work on, because if you're like me, you'll sit there and have expectations, and then you'll be like, why isn't it working the way I want it to? And before you know it, instead of just enjoying, like, I'm glad this actually happened the way it did. Things work themselves out. It may not be the way you think that it should or the way you want it to, but at the end of the day, it's all right. And honestly, what's worrying gonna make it better? Is worrying gonna make it better? It's not. Complaining, not gonna make it better. Sometimes we really need to slow down. I mean, I learned about this technique, the slowing down, was a huge thing for me, and it takes practice every day, because we live in such a rush. We are constantly busy. We're busybodies. And if we're not busy, we're bored. And we can't be bored. We can't. It's just how we are. It's funny. But it's true. We're just so much in a rush all the time. And it's in those moments that you feel like, you need to rush, or like something's just taking forever, that maybe you're missing something. Slow down. Right? Like, think about when people say, don't panic when you're in a situation, don't panic. What happens when you panic? Why would you say not to panic, right? Well, when you panic, you're rushing. You're freaking out. What am I supposed to do? You can't even think straight, because you can't hear nothing except your thoughts, which don't even make sense. So you're not doing anything good. In fact, sometimes we think that we're doing a lot of things that are good because we feel like we're doing something, back to being the, busybodies. But are we really doing anything productive? Like, I mean, there was someone at work one time that said something and made me really think about it, because they were like, yeah, I mean, I actually have all these meetings, but I realize, like, I feel busy, but I'm not actually doing anything. Like, I'm not being productive. I'm just having meetings. And it's kind of like that. Like, are we busy? Because, sometimes we don't need to be busy. Like, slow down. Okay? Like, when we slow down, we can think straight. When we slow down, we can see the world as it is. We are not worried about, you're not worried. Hakuna Matata, I don't know. But like seriously though, yeah, when we slow down, we can think straight. We can see things we weren't seeing before. We can actually almost have discernment that we otherwise would have not recognized before because we were caught up in this thought process. But I want to get back to, I really just want to get back to the meat of this episode. I really want to leave y'all thinking about life and about your purpose. Again, guys, not to be repetitive, but life really is but a moment. It's not easy to always, remind yourself, hey, maybe I'm rushing here, or maybe I'm just looking at this in the wrong light. Sometimes it's not easy to appreciate what you think isn't the best circumstance. But try to, next time you're thinking like, okay, I don't really like this circumstance, or even the things we take for granted, like the people around us, that we love so much, or maybe like, life hasn't been good to you and maybe you don't let people love you. Like, enjoy people's presence, because really good things come out of love and community and friendship, and it's just being in the present instead of the past that has it's gone. I mean, you want to talk about, something that's gone, that's the past, and we so often live in it with regret. And then the future, that hasn't even happened yet. And we're over here trying to live in something that's not even a reality yet, when we could literally just be right here, right now, fulfilling our purpose till our very last breath. That is what will make the difference, not only in your life, but others. Living here, live in the present, live, because life doesn't last forever, not on this earth. Live. Carpe Diem.